Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, 70R Bridges, and you are watching From Mirror to Manuscript, where I bring you very talented authors and writers. These are independent, local, Black individuals that you should definitely support. They have written some amazing books, and I'm so excited to share. Today, I have an amazing young woman who I actually had the pleasure to work with, and that is LaTrena D. Holden. And her book is A Successful Dummy. So I am going to bring her on now, and she's going to share some information about herself, and then we'll get into this interview. Oh, I didn't sing the song. Word up. Hey, word up. Hey, word up. Hey. For real though. All right.
Stephanie,
Hello.
hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay,
can hear you. We can hear you.
okay. I'm on my phone, so I'm gonna move it up because the computer has some technical difficulties.
Okay, no worries, no worries. The phone looks great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so just take your time and do, whatever it is that you want to do. I
Okay,
did let everyone know, just kind of to start out, I want you to tell us about yourself, not in terms of the book. We're going to
okay,
talk about the book and everything like that, but just anything that you want to share and let the audience know.
okay. I'm sorry. Can you?
Okay. So one thing that I know, we're going to bring her back on. But one amazing thing that I know about LaTrena is that she is an awesome baker. She bakes the best pies, and she has like this like rum uh pecan pie or something. It is, I think that's my favorite, but I love her chess pie too. So she is an amazing baker, and we're going to get her. We're going to ask her to tell us about that as well. Okay, so she's back. Hello.
Hi. How are you? Yes, I do bake pies. I do bake pies. That's one of the many things I do. I am a serial entrepreneur. Yes, yes, yes. I bake pies. Um, I can start with and I thank you for the compliment on the pies first and foremost.
Yes, yes. They be top of mind. I'm like, yeah. Let's talk about these pies first. And the holiday seasons are coming, you guys. So we got
Yes,
Christmas, we got Thanksgiving. Y'all better get your
yes.
orders in.
I sell a lot of different pies, so I'm sure I have something that you might like. So different, like 22 different flavors, and I have a mini collection. And then I'm doing like a pie in a jar that you can bake or you give to somebody. I
Oh,
can freeze it and you can take it to somebody. So I have so many different things coming up with that. I really want to share that. And I'm going to share that eventually. But one of the things that I can tell you all a little bit about me. My name is LaTrena Holden. I have one daughter. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, on the south side of Chicago. That was my upbringing. A little rough at times, but also I love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities, if not my favorite city still.
yes.
I reside here in Columbus, Ohio, and I've been here for like 28 years now. And at this state has offered me a lot of good opportunity to for startup and get my feet above the water.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and my job that one of the, well, my career that I chose, I end
Yeah.
up doing being an occupational therapist. So that's what I went to school for. I graduated with my BS in occupational therapy, Bachelor of Science. That's one of my pride and joy. It's the reason why I say that, but we will get into that. And that's one of the things that I just I'm proud of. And then some of the other things I'm proud of, I had my beautiful daughter. That's first and foremost. That's my biggest blessing. It's my daughter. And
Mhm.
then I have a occupational therapy private practice business, but I also do traveling therapy. And I also have a bakery business. So medical meets food. There you
Yes.
have it.
And that's probably like the best way to eat is to have somebody who knows, the medicinal
Mhm.
purposes and, behind the scenes and everything to really get that chemistry just right in the kitchen because your pies are amazing and delicious. And she makes like whole pies, mini pies, and now
Yeah.
you're making pies in a jar or
Yeah,
cake.
you can buy them in a jar, and then you can take them home and you cook whenever you want to. I'm gonna. You can freeze them, or you can put them in the refrigerator for a couple weeks and bake that bad boy, and you can't go wrong. So I got different sizes. Like this is like my 8 inch. Well, sorry, 9 inches. And
Hmm.
these are like the boxes. If I cook and bake it for you, even if you take it home, you get something like this. So I
Yeah.
have a variety of things, and that I'm doing with the pie business. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you all about it, Stephanie. But
Oh, I can't
I'm
wait.
on
Oh,
a
you
new journey. Yeah, I got the outfit. I'm gonna become the real pie lady. I got the outfit for the pie lady and everything. So I'm excited about that new journey that's going on in my life. So it's happening real quick, and I got some people helping me with
Oh, that
helping me
is
move this forward.
oh,
Yeah,
that is wonderful. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute.
yeah.
But let's
Mhm.
talk about what made you want to become an author.
Oh, you know what? Ever since I was younger, I've always liked writing. I've always loved writing. I don't care where I went. I was writing something down, whether it's for a poem. I kind of started off with poetry,
Mm-hmm.
just to express my feelings. It was
Yeah.
happy poetry. It could be stuff that I was going through. Just I've always written stuff down, and I always felt like God put it in my spirit to be an author.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, one of these days I get an opportunity to become an author. I just life got in, I'm not gonna say life got in the way, but things got busy with
Yes.
my life. So I had to just take the time to sit down and say, hey, this is something you want to do. You always wanted to do it, go for it. And it's not just about my memoir that I wrote. I
Mm-hmm.
God has planted so many seeds and so many things in my brain, and He's constantly doing that, and giving me titles and things to do. It's,
Yes.
it's it's for me to take that challenge and to move forward and discipline myself to move forward in writing. So I've always wanted to do it. It's just something that always been in my heart. It's
Mhm.
not just about my life story. It's just something I've always loved to do.
Yes, and I will say this, so I help a lot of aspiring authors become authors and get their books published. Now, Trina, you were one of the few people who really came with a finished manuscript. You know what I mean? We did some editing and we did the formatting and publishing and everything like that. But you had your manuscript pretty much done. I think
Yeah,
you worked
almost.
on it a little bit at the end, but how
Hmm.
long did it take you to get to that point?
I've been wanting to write this book for a long time. So I've
Mhm.
been on and off for about, I promise you, I had this title in my head for over almost 20 years now. It's been a while. It's been a while. But then I finally started like maybe like after 4 years. Then I stopped for a couple years here and there. But when I set myself down, I promise you, it took no more than like 2 or 3 months. Because I still was taking time off of here and there. But I took the time. I made the time. So I'm gonna say about 2 to 3 months if I was to say what I really put into it and
Mhm.
had to rewrite it just to get it to where I wanted to be. 2 to 3 months. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So you
Hmm.
really made it priority. And then we're going to talk
Yeah.
about the book, but that's one thing that I know about you is that like you're headstrong in a good way. Like
Yeah.
you have the never give up that
Hmm.
I don't know, is beyond what most people have.
Hmm.
So I can see that, like time goes by and things get in the way. But once you set your mind to it and you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm about to make this happen. You was
Make it
like,
happen.
boom, there it is. So it's a story about like how you and I met.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll let you share too. But we were actually in a cohort together.
Yes,
Yes, and I don't even know what that we've been in two cohorts together,
we
y'all.
were.
What was the first one about? It
The
was
DEIA.
yeah, that
I
part.
was trying to remember too earlier. I said, where were we?
Yes, that is exactly right. Because everybody was
Mhm.
like huge. Now they trying to get rid of it, but everybody was huge.
Yeah. Mm.
Everybody was huge into the DEI, DEIA, DEIBA, all of the things. And so, yeah, and we got our certifications and
Yes.
everything like that. So, yeah, that is where we met. And you know
Mhm.
how you just go around the class or, people talk about what it is they do and everything like that. I mean, I was just so impressed with you being an occupational therapist. And we're going to
Mhm.
talk about that because that is no joke. That's a
Ooh.
field that that they don't necessarily want us to be in, right?
That is very much the truth. There's not a lot of minorities in this field, and with every chance, every opportunity I get, I tell people this is a great field. People think it's a rehab aid. I said no, you have to have a degree for it.
Yes.
Either 2 year, 4 year, or I think they're going towards a doctor or a master's degree now.
Hmm.
So you have to have it. I tell people go for the 2 year degree first. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now y'all see the white coat, right? And she says she has her own practice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so but so we go around and I'm like, oh, I help people publish this, that, and the other. So you're like, oh, I got a book, and that's how we, connected. Oh, and you got my cohort. So tell the people, what did you think about being in the cohort and everything like that? The Bridges to Better cohort.
Oh yes, being in yes, and that's how I met Stephanie. Because I said because one the teacher actually mentioned Stephanie. She said she write books, and then you said what you did, but she mentioned something too. She just went on and she said a lot of good things. I'm like, Lord, I've been praying about something. Let me just talk to her. I'm gonna nudge her a little bit. Told her and I was almost finished with my book right at that time, and she just happened to say that, hey, I have an upcoming cohort. I'm like, really? And I thought, oh yeah, I would like to be a part of that. Matter of fact, I would love to be a part of it. And yes, she invited me. She was quick with the information. She gave me that information really quick, probably within a day or two from the time I told her I wanted to be part of the cohort. She said she's going to send me some more information. This is the first cohort. She was organized. She sent things on time. I was happy with that. I said, oh yeah, because I almost allowed a couple other people to help me publish that, but God said no. So I'm glad God, sometimes you have to listen when God says no. That's a different story.
Amen.
So I sometimes God gonna let you meet where you need to be because He know He knew my plan. I was just about finished with this book. I said, okay, God, I want the right person to help me publish this book. And Stephanie, she stepped up to the plate. She made us step up to the plate. She said she wanted us to come to the class. Um, there were several people in there. A couple of
Mhm,
people probably didn't make it through, but she kept pushing forward. And
mhm.
she kept everybody focused on what they need to focus on. And
Yeah.
then more people started coming in, I guess on her second cohort, and I saw more people. So the cohort is getting around. So she makes sure you know what you're doing. She helped me with like the publishing, the copyright, the uploading my book in Canva, uploading it in is it KDP? I believe it's KDP. Yeah,
Use
on Amazon. So I
mhm,
had the whole gamma right there. It was every step. So that's what worked for me. And I think it's a good system if you got somebody right there that's showing you. We came to class, and then she also not only in class, we also had Zooms outside of the class. So
yes,
she made sure she gave us a one-on-one Zoom also. I think it was weekly. I can't remember, but I think it was weekly.
mhm.
But I know weekly we met for sure. But
Definitely. And I
yes,
and I will say you were like definitely one of the star students in there because like I said, you had your manuscript, you sent it to me early.
yes,
You came to our photo shoots and stuff. We did little
yes,
photo shoots for the book cover and then also just, as a group to have
yes.
fun. We did some interviews and different things. So that was definitely a lot of fun. That was a really good time.
It was. It was a good connection also with the other people on there, other authors, to see where they were and what they were doing and to hear their stories and what they were writing. So it's good to get ideas from other people. So I really just loved the whole entire cohort. It was
Wonderful,
for me.
wonderful, wonderful. So
And it'll be good for you too.
let's tell the people why they need a successful dummy. Just from your perspective, why does everybody need to read this book?
Okay, let me tell you why. Let me tell you. I know you got a good copy. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Excuse that noise. I sincerely apologize. But why you need to read my book? There's something else over there too. I, I, this is blood, sweat, and tears, and it's not about me. But this book can help, especially the younger generation. But it also can help some of the older generation because sometimes we let things set us back from stuff we heard in the past.
Yes.
So this book mainly is about, it's called A Successful Dummy. Do I consider myself a dummy? By no means. But this book it's basically what you answer to. Did I answer to being a dummy? No. But the main purpose of this book was to help people, like, no matter what you've been through or
Mm-hmm.
how you've been through or what you know what I've been through: mental abuse, very bad, physical abuse, spiritual abuse, sexual abuse. And somehow I still made it. And I had bullying on top of that. And then while I was in my medical program, oh my God, just the prejudice and just people not wanting you to succeed. I had to fight to get what I want. So all the abuses, the bullying, the prejudice, just
Mm-hmm.
so many different things that could have stopped me along the way. And the people who told me that I'd never be anything, and I got the title dummy from because my coach or my daddy call us, like, you guys are dumb. You the A of the world. Can the ass of the world. I'm gonna say it if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead, right
Yeah.
there.
You'll never be anything. You never amount to anything. And he was hurting. It was his past that hurt him. And I
Yeah.
forgave my dad. So I want to say that very clearly. I forgave my dad
Mm-hmm.
easily. It wasn't easily at first, but as I heard about his history, it was easy for me to forgive him. But my coach said, I had like several different scholarships. They called top dog in Chicago with track and field. Every,
Mm-hmm.
almost every school wanted me for track and field. My
Yeah.
coach threw all my scholarships away. He said, these are for dummy and you are not college material. You had to think about what that said to a 16, 17, 18-year-old person at that time. You just think about at that age, you go 16, 17, 18. You had to understand what that does, the damage it does. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought I was never thought I was college material. I just couldn't fathom it because my grades were not that great until my senior year. Till my senior year, I did start working on it because I was like, well, I can get scholarships. I didn't know that I could have redshirted. And he knew
Mm-hmm.
it. He knew it. I didn't know that. But I think that kind of pushed me in the direction I needed to go. So I ended up going to a junior college.
Mm-hmm.
That after the junior college, I ended up getting a scholarship to a 4-year college. But the junior college, I did run track. So that it came out. I'm telling you, God worked it out the way it needed to work out. So I ended up going to college by a coach who claimed he was a scout. He really wasn't, but that's a whole different story that's in the book.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what got me to get out. Once I got out of that environment, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense, like, that negative environment of you ain't going to be nothing, you're not nothing, you're not capable, you're not smart enough, you're too dumb, you stupid, you'll never make it. To hear that, and I heard it for so many different people, whether it be family members, whether it be coaches, friends, associates, frenemies. Let me say it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So, people laughed at me, who's supposed to be my friends. Like, well, why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you making it? Even when I went to college from the 2-year to the 4-year and made it into the medical program or the therapy program, I had people laughing at me. Like, it might be too hard. It might be too difficult for you. Maybe you should quit. I'm not
Mm.
a quitter.
At
Never,
all.
ever. ever, unless I had to. I'm not telling you there's a time you have to know when to say give in the towel. There is a time for that. But
Hmm.
this was not the time. I said I fought too hard to get where I'm at, to where I need to be. And
Yeah.
here I am today. You know, that they can call it a successful dummy, but I was
Hmm.
like, it's what you answer to. Never answer to what they call you. Answer to what God called you to be.
Amen and amen. So I love this. So you talked about, as a young child, the different abuse that you went
Hmm.
through and that you faced. And
Hmm.
then as you matriculated through school, whether it be friends, family, teachers, whoever, they were telling you, you're not smart enough, you're
Hmm.
not bright enough, you can't do it, they were trying to hold you back, or even held you back and different things like that.
Yes.
Then you figured out that you were excellent in sports, that you were a track star, and
Yes.
nobody could deny
Couldn't.
you that. They couldn't deny, like, you was zooming by folks. And, and it is like God gave you that gift to get
Hmm.
you, to where you are now. And
Hmm.
oftentimes, when people have gone through different abuse and people have said different things, the mental, the emotional,
Mm.
one, um they don't take the opportunity and run with it. Like, you were serious about track. When
Yeah.
you realize, oh, wait a minute, this is something I'm exceptional in. This is
Mhm.
something that, I stand apart. You got serious about that thing.
I
And then,
did.
mhm.
I did.
Yes. And then when you started learning about the doors that it could open, you were
Hmm.
like, "Oh, okay." So how did you stay so focused with, because different things happen. So, you get to a certain age, you start to mature, folks start looking at you, you start looking at folk. Your friends are doing this and doing that. So there's all these different temptations. You're in the city, you're in Chicago. There's
Hmm.
all these things going on around you. How did you stay focused and say, "Nah, son, I'm gonna make my dream. I'm gonna make this happen."
Ooh, ooh, that's a good one because right before, like I mentioned before, like the sexual abuse really did bother me, and the mental abuse it did affect my self-esteem, you guys. That's why my grades were not where they were. And I'm
Mhm.
not using that as an excuse because some people end up overachieving or underachieving. I was the one that underachieved at that time until
Yeah.
I saw that I can get scholarships. I saw that I can get out the environment. I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to get out.
Yeah.
So, but that bombshell came where my coach said, you're not smart enough. But then God had me meet somebody else. And like I said, it took me getting out that environment to get into the environment of junior college that changed my perception
Mhm.
of, wow, this is not all that bad. And I'm not like what they say I am. And I knew I can do better because in my senior year, I did better. So in my junior college, I did better. But you know what? When I decided to go to the 4-year college, I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Why not become a B student or an A student? Why not? So I'm gonna reach for the A's, but I end up being like a B plus. I end up getting well, close to a B plus, but it wasn't quite like between 3.2 and 3.3 or 3.4,
Mhm.
somewhere in there. I had
Right.
to look at my transcript, but it's somewhere in there. And I was like, why can't I do what other people do? And I was like, why am I comparing myself to? I said, this is something I want to do. Let me
Yeah.
get my grades up. It's just something I decided in my mind and it clicked. Like, you're smart. You can do this. I said,
Mhm.
somebody told you you weren't smart. Somebody told you that and you believed it. So when I said I had to do a lot of self-talk, like you can do it, you're capable. And then people, you know what? When you're out there in the world and you're around positive people,
Mhm.
they are going to say positive things. And
Yeah.
people see things about you that you may not see about yourself. People were saying, like, you're smart, you're intelligent. They were saying a lot of things, not be, telling they say, I love your personality, or you're gonna go far. People saw my
Mhm.
vision sometimes before I saw the vision. They said
Yeah.
that I love your personality. I love your energy. And, I but I just like my self-esteem. I knew my self-esteem wasn't there. I didn't tell anybody. I knew it wasn't there.
Mhm.
I just, I didn't say it wasn't there either. Until I got close and, to different people, then I would tell them some of the story, what went on in my life, or my self-esteem is not what you think it is. But
Mhm.
as I build myself up, I always tell people, you have to build that mountain up. And
Yes.
that's what I had to build myself into, a mountain. What they say, the cornerstone that they rejected, God made it. The stone they rejected, God made it the cornerstone of the church.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So sometimes you might get rejected in life. And,
Mhm.
like I said, I had another coach when I was in college. He always just hype me up, just like, "Oh, girl, you good? You bad? You this?" He always used to say positive thing. His name was Ira Murchison, and he ran in the Olympics. I can't remember the exact year, but I think it was with Jesse Owens and things like that. But I
Mhm.
will get his name was Ira Murchison.
Mhm.
So he was such a positive influence. He was one of the positive influence in my life. And
So
then, oh, go
that's
ahead.
beautiful. No, that's beautiful because you have the positive voices and you have the negative voices. And we have a decision to make.
Mm,
We can start being our own cheerleader, and we
mhm.
can surround ourselves with the people who want good for us, the people
Right.
who are speaking life into us. And
Yeah.
you saw that. And I want anybody that's listening to this, no matter what your situation is, I know it might seem dire. I know it might
Mm,
seem like I will never be able to escape this, but please
mm.
know that you can. You saw a way out and you were like, oh, let me get out. Where so many people are like, oh, well, this is what I know and this is where I've been and everybody else does it like this. Like, what can you tell people to
Ooh,
not just follow and to be a leader?
don't be traditional with everything, or don't follow the people that. When my mama did it, I had to have 3 or 4 kids. My daddy was a drunk, so I had to be a drunk. I, that's not the case. It's just you have to choose. Even though I saw the path, I didn't know how I was going to get to that bad path. And I
Mhm.
believe God bring opportunities in your life. You just have to know when to take it, and
Yes.
and not shoot it down because of your self esteem. Because God gonna build that self-esteem. He gonna let you know you're capable. That self-esteem is going to come. Because if I can tell you from the time I was younger to know that I would be right here, right now, you couldn't have told me this. You couldn't have told me I'd be right here today because of my self-esteem and how it was put down. But I had to build it up. I just like, no, I just don't believe it. I started saying, I don't believe it. That ain't me. Even like when you're doing positive things, me being grown and having my own business, like little stuff will try to seep back in to
Mhm.
say, you if even if you mess up on something, something to come back in and try to from the past, and I'm one of those people. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. That's not true. So you can't follow what other people are saying about you. Don't become, how can I say that? Don't become what people see in their lenses.
Mm.
Become what God has for you and the plan He has
Yeah.
for you. Sometimes we follow other people's lenses, or they try to put us in their shoes. And some people don't want the best for you. Some people don't know better. They
Mm.
think, hey, go get a job 9 to 5 and that's it. You you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if
Mm.
that's not what your heart is telling you to do not do it under no circumstances. Go with your heart every
Yeah.
time because you're going to always have a regret. Think outside the box because remember, God can dream a bigger dream than you.
Mm.
Always.
Always, always. So we're not going to get too much detail out of the book because I want everybody to purchase this book and read this book, A Successful Dummy. And the QR code is there in the corner, so definitely check this out. But I do want, if you're willing to share, and I know it's in the book,
Mhm.
I know that some of the most brilliant people are not necessarily test takers. And so we have a school system that is
Mm,
set up. I mean, I think for a lot of people to fail because you can do well in class, you can learn, you can understand the
yeah.
information, but test taking is a skill in and of itself. It
Mm,
doesn't really have anything to do with the subject matter. It's just like,
nothing.
are you good at taking tests? Right? Because I know, because I'm a person that's good at taking tests. And if
Mhm,
you ask me a question after the test, I don't
mhm.
know. I don't know. I just know the skill set and I know to use
Right,
it in this window of time. But if you ask
right.
me the information later, I didn't retain any of that. So
Yeah.
yes, so many people run up
Mhm.
whatever field you're in, like there's oftentimes different tests to get certifications and to get what it is that you need to move forward in your career. So would you mind sharing with the people how many times you took the test
I
after
would
you graduated college?
I would tell them yes, and you know what? And I tell people, I was like, I took this test 4 times, you guys, and so many people told me to give up after the first time. And people don't understand this. I was in like different situations, and I'm not a good test taker. I never have been. I can know all the information, know
Mhm,
everything. I just like, oh, I know my stuff. I'm gonna pass this test. I thought I passed it the first time. No, I did not. The second time I just moved. I'm not giving myself excuses, but it was a lot going on. And
mhm.
that's a whole different story right there. But that is in the book. It was
Yes.
so much going on, the situation that I was living in. So I'm going to tell you, if you are not a good test taker, I'm telling you, and you're trying to be in relationships or trying to do so many things, if your plate is crowded, if you are in chaos, that may block you. That might be one of the reasons you're not passing. But the other thing is, it could be because you're just not a great test taker. But what I did was on the last time, I extended the time. I skipped the next test that they were taking. I skipped it intentionally,
Mhm,
intentionally skipped it on my after the third try. I skipped the next one. It was every 6 months. So, I had to skip like a whole year. So it made it like, I think it was end up in a year after I took it. I say, what I'm going to do is clear the path.
mhm,
I brought a book on test taking skills. Oh,
mhm,
wow. That book really, it was very helpful. It was very helpful on how to take tests and how to read the questions the right way. I think it was a medical test taking book. I don't think it was just for occupational therapists, but it was
mhm.
like for medical professionals. And
Yes.
I think anybody can use the book, if you ask me. And I can want that book, I will make sure I find it for them. But on that fourth time, when I say I went in there with a clear mind, I drank some tea where my body was calm because I
Yeah.
get anxieties with tests. I get anxieties really bad. I think they put tests just to block people from coming in. I say, if you pass this is just my thought.
Mhm.
If you pass your schoolwork, I think you should pass. That should be it. But they have tests on everything. And there are reasons why they start putting tests on things. Because a lot of minorities start coming into different types of fields. So they decided to put tests on things, unfortunately.
And they say they're like standardized, but they not standardized for us.
It does
You know what
not
I
work.
mean? It's not. It ain't.
The
Mm-mm.
wordings
There's
of
a lot
it and
of
how it's
bias. There's a
twisted.
lot
Yes.
of bias in testing,
Yes.
and I've been
There's
a.
been studies about it too.
Mhm.
Lots of studies.
Right, right. So we're not making that up. And then I've been um
Hmm.
like a test scorer before. And I know there's nuance because
Hmm.
you and me, we could take the same test,
Hmm.
give the same answers, and I pass and you fail
Right.
because of the scoring.
Hmm.
Because some of them are long answers, some of them are essays, some of them are different. So if a person is scores a 1 point, you could fail the test and we could have the exact same answers.
Mhm.
So,
Because it
test.
could be subjective when they put, if you got a writing part on there, it depends on who's scoring your test too. So,
Mhm.
and I had a hard time passing my English test while I was in college. That was another thing I had a hard time passing. And it depends on who was reading it.
Yep.
But I eventually I passed it. And I,
Mhm.
I got a tutorer. I made the effort to make myself do better because I was like, I know there's gonna be, I always tell people there's traps and terrains and things that are gonna come to block you. You have to know that they're out there. Nobody said it's gonna be a straight path. So I just had to sit myself down, calm myself down, be in the right space. Had nothing. When I say there was nothing blocking me from when I went in that room to take that test, and when I walked out of there, I felt confident before that I passed. But
Mhm.
This time I felt confident, real confident, more confident. And I got my test scores. A friend of mine, he got the test scores for me.
Yes.
That's how I found out I passed the test because I didn't want to look at the test. So, he kept throwing a number around for the day. So that's how I found out. That's in the book, you guys. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's an interesting, funny story behind that. But I passed it. Do not worry about how many numbers. As if they're going to give you the amount of time to keep doing it, keep doing it. They do have limits on certain tests. With
Mhm.
OT, I believe you can take it up to 6 times. Certain tests, you can take it up to 6 times. I said, now I worked too hard to not pass this test. I know
Yeah.
I'm meant to be an occupational therapist. I knew there was no doubt in my mind from the time I read that brochure on what it is. I knew that was me. It was me in that I mean me being an occupational therapist. That was my future. I knew that was my future. I knew nothing about the field. I
Mhm.
knew nothing about it. The director himself came to me. My sister happened to be working in a department over there, and I knew some other people over there too. So I was over there. Then he saw me. He said, "I think you'll make a great occupational therapist." I'm like, "What is that?" I had no clue because nobody never bought that to me. I never knew, so I had to start all over when I came to college. So the 2 years didn't mean anything. I mean, I got the 2-year degree. I'm happy about it, but
Right.
those credits really didn't go over to the therapy program for anything except for 2 credits.
So for us that don't know that much about occupational therapy, tell us what it is. What do you do, and what does it all entail? So.
Okay, occupational therapy is a medical field. Um, it's how can I explain it? It basically help you be more functional, independent. We help
Mhm.
you regain, maintain, retrain you to become more functional, independent in your daily life. For examples, we can go into like 3 or 4 different settings. Physical disability, you might see a stroke, a person with a heart attack, car accident. We're going to give them rehab where we had to teach them, or like if somebody had a stroke, you had to go back. Sometimes when they have a massive stroke, they kind of go to a primitive stage, like
Mhm.
a baby. You had to retrain them to put their clothes back on, to
Mhm.
button, to put stuff on the shelf, to walk, to dress themselves again. So activities of daily living, that's what we really help them with in a physical disability.
Mhm.
In the developmental disability, we work with kids or adults, anybody who has a developmental disability that was born with it, birth, like autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. We help them with fine motor, visual motor, sensory motor delays to get them to be a little bit more functional. Like we're the fundamentals of
Mhm.
helping them, like to write. Like some kids don't know how to draw a line. Some kids
Yeah.
don't know how to process to put a puzzle together. Some kids got spatial. They can't even put that piece together. They can't even connect things together. So that's where the developmental. And with the physical disability, I'm sorry, not the physical, psychological disability,
Mhm.
or psychosocial, that's what we say, psychosocial disability. We help people like with time management, taking their medication, make sure they're on a schedule, a behavior chart, just to be more functional, independent. Basically, our main goal is to help you become more functional, become
Mhm.
more independent in your daily living skills.
Very nice. Very nice. And so, what made you decide to start your own practice versus, working under someone else's umbrella?
Actually, I started off working under someone's umbrella. Hi. Yes, I started working under somebody else's umbrella. I ended up working in the school system. And
Mhm.
actually, I was working in a nursing home. Then I went to the school system to get on my daughter's schedule. Then I
Mhm.
left there. And I felt like the kids wasn't getting all that they could get. And somebody approached me about being a partner with
Mhm.
like an occupational therapy, speech therapy, and a physical therapy. If you got all three of those together, it's a wonderful thing. If the kid need that, we made ourselves a one-stop
Oh,
shop.
okay. So, yep. So you had
Yeah.
everything. Mhm.
Somebody might need speech, OT. They might need both of two of the three. So
Mhm.
we came together as a one-stop shop. So they invited me in, but my question was, my question was, is anybody gonna be over it? I don't like partnerships where I'm putting my money together or things like that. They said, no, we got our own companies, but we're going under one umbrella.
Oh,
Uh,
I get you. Oh,
yeah.
very
So
nice. Everybody was independent,
everybody
but
was independent.
together,
And we came under umbrella like Upper Arlington Therapy Services. So
Oh,
we had three different things. And then myself, the speech, and PT were all there for the first year. Then the PT ended up leaving after the first year. But myself and the speech, we ended up staying together with doing our services. So a lot of times that's what most kids need, the speech and OT. So it worked out perfectly. So, but what made me started, I was like, it's more, you can be more like with school-based therapists, it's going to be more towards school. Like it might be towards your writing. It
mhm.
might be towards maybe some buttoning. But if you get your private practice, it can be community-based. You can do cooking. You can do store, for the older kids, teach them job placement, teach them how to train them on the job.
Yeah,
Fine motor, visual motor, lots of sensory, and they do sensory in the school, but not as much as they used to. So I had it where I can do more community based, and it's more comprehensive and it's more well rounded. So I can do everything. So I did a comprehensive exam, so I don't have to limit myself to what I have to do. So once I got started the business, I said I'm going to see how it goes, and it ended up going pretty good. So 17 years.
wow.
But I am transitioning with some things, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, but I'm still doing it, but not
Yeah,
as much. But 17 years as my own business, but 27 years as an occupational therapist.
that is so amazing. That is
Yeah.
so amazing. I was just, I apologize for that. I was texting the feed telling her to come back on.
Oh no,
To,
that's fine. Oh, that's
yeah,
fine. I just kept going while
yeah,
you was doing it.
yeah, to the live stream.
Oh
Okay,
no,
so
okay.
I know that you do a lot of stuff on social media and different things.
Yeah.
So you want to share some of that and let people know what you got coming up, where people can find you and everything like that?
Yes, yes. I have a couple social medias. Holden LaTrena. I'm on Instagram. That's just my regular Instagram, but you can always reach me there. That's like the one that's my main Instagram. And then I have a Hit for You Media. I have
Mhm.
that on Facebook, and there you go, Hit for You.
Yes, it for you.
but
Yes.
but I'm gonna, yeah,
Yes.
that's a different story too. But I'm working on this. But this is Hit for You. Holding it together for you. So my thing is I'm working on transitioning from doing my therapy. I'm still going to do consultation, but I'm going to consultation also for motivation, being a coach, consultation, and things like that. Because I want you to hold together. I want to be that glue that fix that glitch that you think you're having or that you
Oh,
may. We
so
got to
we
get
have
you
to
out of it.
have conversations. We have to talk about this because I've been thinking about doing coaching too, and I was looking for like what kind of program I would want to, utilize, like what's out there, like the different
Yes. I
coaching
saw a couple
models and stuff
things.
like
I
that.
tell you about them. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. We are definitely gonna have to talk about that. So tell them about your like you model and
Yeah.
do different things like that. So
Yeah, let me tell them. Yes, 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 you're right. Yeah, thank you, girl. Okay, you want me to tell them? Okay. I'm also at a modeling agency, Heyman Talent. That's one of the agency, and I'm reaching out to other agencies a little bit more out, like in Chicago, LA, and New York. So I'm putting that out right now as we
yeah.
speak. I already started it, but I have to put more out. So I do modeling. I have a Hit for You Media channel where I'm doing like characters. It's comedy. It's serious. It's motivation. So I'm a roundabout girl. I just say I do a variety of things. I don't limit myself to I'm in this box. I'm in this box. So I kind of do a variety of everything. But my number one joy, I love to motivate. I love to motivate. So that's kind of what the channel was about. But also with my modeling, acting, some things are coming up for me soon. So yeah. So I'm not gonna jinx it yet, so I'm hoping and praying for some other things that I'm putting out there for
Yes.
for the agencies and everything. And I'm taking a faith step because I'm trying to make that a little bit more full time now. So
Mhm.
that's that. And then I have my pie business, Miss LaTrena Pies.
Mhm.
Um, it's mlpies.com. That's where you can find my pies. You can find my pies on that channel, and Miss Trina's Pie. But I'm working on both of those websites right now as we speak. So, but you
Okay.
can reach me. They can reach me at 614-284-4223 if you need to reach me for anything outside of that. So,
Yeah.
coaching, modeling, acting, writing. I'm working on. I want to do some type of book tour and go to different states. So that's one of the biggest things I want to do in the next 6 months. Just go around to promote my book
Mhm.
and the upcoming books that I have.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So I wanted to bring Afia back on because she helped me with the cohort, and we always talked about LaTrena being our star student. I mean, not to say nothing about nobody. Everybody was cool, you know what I'm saying? But I was like,
Yeah,
well, you really were like on point with doing all of the things, that we requested. So you want to
thank
speak to
you.
that, Afia? You want to say anything?
Yeah, no, the energy that you brought to each cohort and just, your willingness to, just walk with us through the journey was awesome.
Thank you.
I think your interview was amazing. I think, you showing up at the launch with your energy and just everything, that was like, it was really amazing. So yeah, I would agree with Stephanie. You definitely were a star student.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
awesome, 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 Afia. She she was very helpful with like the analytics of like what your book shows. Show you what the sales of your book are. So
Mhm.
analytic, doing the analytics, just somebody to
Mhm.
talk to run something by. This is
Mhm.
a good team right here. I'm telling y'all right here. One, two. That's a
Thank you,
Batman and
thank you.
Robin. Um,
Yes,
That's a great, great, great. It's a great team. And I'm happy. I'm glad that I came across you guys. You guys been nothing but kind and nice and made sure I get it done. And you know, y'all need to tell me when to slow it down and when to push it forward. So it was a great balance of everything. So it worked well for me. So I
yeah.
appreciate you guys'
I'm
help.
gonna bring you back on in a minute, Afia, but I do want to ask you. So, what do you have any books coming up? I keep thinking cookbook. So, do you have any books that?
Everybody asked me to put that cookbook.
Yes, like
I
we
do
need
have a
the
cooking
rest.
channel. You know I got that cooking channel, right?
No, I didn't know you had a cooking channel.
I'm pretty cooking for you because I was gonna make a pie channel, but I kind of got the cooking channel with the pie channel. It's
Mm-hmm.
called pretty cooking, the number 4 and the letter U. So I'm
Oh,
getting back into everything. And the
okay. So
reason I slowed down,
is that on YouTube or
that's
where's?
on that's on Instagram right now, just on
Okay. Hmm.
Instagram. But I'm gonna bring it to Miss um Miss LaTrena Pies is on YouTube. But
Okay.
the pretty cooking for you, I kind of got a mixture of everything. I got food and everything. So
Okay.
I just dance and sing and do things there. I know that's just for fun, but at
No.
the same time, I give you a lesson. It's like a cooking lesson where I'm cooking.
Yeah.
So you
I,
cooking and I'm giving you a lesson. So
yes. At the same, doing all of the things. Giving you some inspiration, some coaching, teaching you how to cook, a little entertainment with the dance moves,
there
a
you go.
little.
I said if you have fun with it, you got to make that time for it. And
Mhm.
I'm making the time to do it. So I had to pull back on some things to get everything organized. And once I get everything organized, hopefully by the end of the year, things will be moving forward the way I want it to move forward. It's just I'm taking the time to do it now.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, definitely. So I heard you say everybody's been asking about the cookbook, so definitely
I,
keep
I am
that.
planning to do one
Mhm.
probably in the next year, but I
Mhm.
do have some other books about relationships. I
Oh,
want to come up. Um, um, I can't tell the name of it just yet, but I know I mentioned it to you.
well, no, but you know what? Well, when you said relationships, that just reminded me of the book. Get the book, y'all, because I mean, it's funny, but it's stuff people go through. But like, you went through some stuff with relationships,
I
like
did. I
you dragged,
did.
you was like, nah, you was like, just, I'm gonna need you.
And I wasn't trying to be mean, but sometimes, you know, sometimes you give your heart sometimes, but that's a different story. But
Yeah.
sometimes some of it was sad, but some of I was like, oh really? I'm like, no, no. And sometimes we got to be careful what we connect ourselves to. It's gonna slow us down. So
Yeah.
and that's part of what the book is about. So you don't want nothing to slow you down.
Mhm.
And that's the main thing. Don't let things slow you down. Don't let nobody tell you who you are and what you can and can't do. You got to keep on trucking, keep on moving. My dad used to say that. That's one positive thing I remember he did say. And that's the thing I did love that he did say.
Yes. Yes. Keep on trucking.
Yeah, keep on trucking. So I kept on trucking.
Yes,
And
you did. You kept on trucking.
I have another story, but I wish I could tell it tonight.
Oh, okay. What is
You know about the other things, the other thing I mentioned to you, but I would tell you about it, regarding dad, if that
Oh,
makes sense.
no, yeah. So you know what? Because I was going to ask you about that, but because we didn't get to like check in, I didn't want to, you know. So well, okay. So let me
I
just
can
say,
say something without
growing
saying it, but
up-
go ahead.
yeah. So let me say this. So growing up, you felt kind of like different, like you know what I'm saying, and people
Yeah,
treat
it's a little
you.
odd, a little
Yeah.
different.
So
There's some
you
things
want
going
to
on in my
share?
life right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yes. Um, but I can't discuss it because I'm getting some confirmations about some things. Unfortunately, I would love to continue this with Stephanie
Yeah,
because
we're gonna have to
yeah,
bring
'cause
you back.
that's a whole different story right there. But I'm just learning some different news. But I've always felt a little different. I always felt a little odd, and maybe there's a reason why. But
Yeah.
I can't fully discuss it right now at this time. But I will discuss it in the next and that's one of my new books too, unfortunately. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yes. And so thinking about like, okay,
unfortunate.
I just thought about like daddy issues, different things like that. My dad just passed away, and I was
Um,
talking to another girlfriend, and she was talking about her dad in different situations. So I'm thinking maybe that needs to be a compilation, or like we just have like a group talk or something, and
oh,
just
that
talk
would be so
about
good.
our fathers and how
Yeah.
the relationships or lack thereof impacted our
Hmm.
lives and our decisions, and
It
where we
does.
down with that. So yeah, we got to talk, sis. We got
It
to.
does. It does impact your life. People just say, well, at least you had your dad. I said, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Thank you, Lord.
I'm
But
thankful.
at the same time, I tell people sometimes you don't want to hear the negativity either. So I
Mm,
just like you have to see what's good and what's bad in it. So I
yeah,
saw the good in it and I saw the bad. And I
yeah.
had to take what I can take from it. I had to forgive. I had to
Mm,
move on, but it did affect my life in so many ways.
does. Yeah, when you
So
talk about the self-esteem and your self-value, a lot of that comes from the people who you feel like should love you the most and care about
yeah,
you the most. And when they say different things and do different
it
things,
confuses you.
it really does. It really does.
It's a thing of confusion. You're like, God, wait a minute. This is not making sense. This is my dad or my mom. And
Mhm.
you're just like, how could they say this and do this? And no parent is perfect. Not. And I'm
No.
not just talking about my parent, I'm just talking about in general. You just like, how
Mhm.
could they do something like this? And some people aren't good parents. Let's just keep it real, whether in the house or not.
It a buck. Let's keep it a buck. And I talked the last time, my last interview on. I made a lot of mistakes as a mom. So
Nobody's perfect. I made
you
some
know,
mistakes too. I
right,
did.
right.
I
So
did. I did. But I know
so
I was a good mom. Though. I don't care what nobody say.
I that part.
Yeah, she was not perfect. And I had to tell my child, you do not got no perfect mom. I had to tell her, it's like, I'm not perfect, baby. I'm gonna make some mistakes, and you will too, unfortunately. And
Mhm.
you may not know it's a mistake until later on, because sometimes you went on what you knew at that time.
At the time.
Sometimes that same abuse come out a different way.
Mm,
Even if you try to avoid it, you have to remember you was in that environment. Or like you said, there are lack of. If you have a lack of, it's hard. Some people might have a hard time loving. You get
yeah.
what I'm saying? It could be that. Or if you never heard I love you, it might be hard to say that to people. I didn't hear that growing up. Where the
Mm,
mom and the dad?
mhm.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, to be continued. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and having this conversation. I
Yeah.
really do. I want people to get this book because we didn't even touch, like we didn't even do half of the half of the half.
Woo!
Get this book. It is so deep, and it really lets you take a different perspective, because all of us, we're the main characters in our own story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we are, self-centered and self-interested, and which we should be, we got to preserve, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're able to read someone else's story and see how far they've come and where they've come from, it really does help bring perspective. And your story does just that. I mean, like you said, you keep on trucking, like you never give up, and you embody that. You
Thank
embody
you.
that.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been blessed and highly favored. And I thank God. I thank God for the people that did come in my life. And then for those who did push me, who did do that, push me for the worst. But God knew better. I'm
Mhm.
blessed.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, and I will
Keep
talk to
on
you.
having me, Stephanie. I really appreciate that. And I will come back anytime I'm needed. And in the future, I would like to talk to you.
Yes, yes. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
All right. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
All right. That was an amazing conversation. That was a really good one. So happy to talk with LaTrena, you guys. This is my dog, King. So what did you think, Afia? And
She's such a beautiful spirit. And she's so real. It's like she's so real. I think it's rare to find somebody so open and
mhm.
vulnerable without feeling like there's any negativity attached to that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so she's just an amazing human being, and she is I'm trying to be like her.
You
She got her hands in like everything. Okay,
You
she
know,
said,
and then I wasn't gonna like put her on front. Like I really don't know any of her business, you guys. But I wanted to say, you're able to do all of these other things because of the work you put in. Because you were able to build your career, and you was able to
Mhm.
make that money where you have that solid foundation. Now I'm just making this up in my mind, but y'all, she is an occupational therapist. Okay, so she clocking some dollars, you know, in that role. And I just want everybody under the sound of our voice to know that, oh, and we didn't even talk about that. How much in certain roles, like if we say, okay, I'm gonna be a nurse, or I'm gonna be a teacher, or I'm gonna be a social worker. Those are all amazing opportunities, but they applaud us. They're like, oh yeah, come on through. You do that. But when we say we're going to be a doctor, we're going to be an occupational therapist, we're going to go for some of these other opportunities, we're going to be a lawyer, they really try to put the brakes on. And this is while, they're in college, while you're in college, while you're matriculating through, when you should be receiving that support. They're like, nah, this is not a role for you. This is not a job for you. We so if you, and I have a degree in education, I went the teacher route. So,
Mhm.
not saying that there's anything wrong with those fields, but know that the sky is open. You can do and become whatever it is that you want. And
At
she did
whatever age, Stephanie, at whatever age you
that.
want.
I know that's right. See? All right, bye. Good night, everybody. You wow for that. No, but that is very true.
Yeah.
You are 100% true. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's never too late. Nothing ever takes too long, because them years, if it takes 2 years, 5 years, them years is gonna pass whether you do the thing or not. So you might as well go ahead and throw your hat in there and do that.
Yeah. Because I logged in a little bit late, but did she talk about her educational journey at all?
She did. We did talk about that a little bit, and just her not giving up. We talked about the
Mhm.
testing situation and how some
Mhm.
people would have just thrown their hands up and been like, "Oh, well, never mind." But Nah, she was not playing with none of y'all. None of y'all. She wasn't playing with y'all.
I feel it. Ooh, she's an inspiration.
Yes, yes,
So
she is. You guys get the book, read the book. She's a definite inspiration. And we missed Maria because I actually let me apologize for last week. I wasn't on last week. I just had so much going on and it got the rest
mm,
of you guys. So we missed Maria Mock, but I'm going to be bringing her back so that we can hear her story because her book actually changed my life. And so I definitely want everybody to get that book and read that book. So yeah. So you got anything else for the people before we sign off?
no, I will be watching this replay though, because I hopped in a little late, but yeah, no, she's amazing. It's always good to catch up with her.
Yes. Yes. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We will see you.
Bye.
Hey.